Yo, people love to paint you as a bad guy because you keep it real and because you don't sugarcoat stuff. You say it exactly how you feel and you say it exactly how it is. Obviously, don't be a douchebag about it and don't just say whatever you want disregarding all boundaries that have been created or that, are kind of just social standards. But for the most part, people will paint you as a bad guy just because you're able to speak freely without having to worry about everybody around you that are just such snowflakes. To be honest, everybody takes offense to everything nowadays and you really can't speak your mind like you could before. And it's because social media promotes snowflake culture. And if you don't know what snowflake culture is, just look it up. You can find it in literally any Twitter thread. You can find it on like 50% of the TikToks that are made out there because everything is a social movement and everything is about justice this and justice that versus whatever the hell it is that you feel, uncut, raw, obviously respective. Just say whatever you want, bro. Bro, I'm so tired of having to second guess everything I want to say or having to put a prefix or a little asterisk. You know, the thing where you hit shift 8, this thing right here on the screen. I'm tired of having to put this in front of literally every single thing I want to say in person or online or wherever nowadays because somebody's gonna get offended by it. Why is it that we can't just respect one another, speak our minds, and respect each other's opinions and not treat everything like it's cancel culture and we gotta ruin each other's lives just because we think differently? Like, sure, I have a preference of who I want to date or hang out with. Remember, keyword preference. Most of us like to stay within our own culture. It's kind of just built into us from young. If you're Hispanic, most Hispanics end up with Hispanics. If you're Arabic, most Arabics end up with Arabics. Most white people end up with white people, black people with black people. And it's just facts. We like to stay within our own culture. Obviously, I'm not trying to say mixing cultures is a bad thing, but I am saying that most cultures like to stay within themselves. That's not a problem, but racism is. Hence why the keyword here is preference. Just because I prefer to hang around a bunch of Hispanics because I'm Hispanic does not mean that I'm racist towards other races. Just because I prefer to date a Hispanic girl does not mean that I'm racist towards other races just because I prefer to date a Hispanic. Never once did I say I will not date another. That's two different concepts. Bro, when did it become such a problem that a person can literally say I prefer not to date a transgender person because that's just not my preference? I have no problem with the fact that you're transgender. I have no problem with you. You can do whatever you want with yourself. That's up to you. And I'm perfectly fine with that. But I would prefer not to date a transgender person. When did saying something like that, respecting their culture, respecting what they're doing, become such a problem and now everybody wants to bash you and call you a transphobic that doesn't acknowledge the fact that a trans woman is a woman and trans man is a man? Never once did I invalidate the validity of their sexual orientation, but I guess nowadays that makes you ignorant and it makes you hate all transgender people because you have that preference. Look, I know today's Sunday video is a lot different from all my other ones. Usually I do really chill takes. I ask you guys questions, you guys give me answers, or reverse of that. You guys ask me questions, I give you guys answers. But keep it real with you, I didn't have a question for this week, nobody really commented, and I've been wanting to kind of do a take on this for a while now. Nowadays, you spend more time actually trying to prefix everything and trying to sugarcoat everything than you actually do explaining what it is what you want to say. Like, for example, I'm going to use pizza. I love pepperoni pizza. Now, let's say I'm in a room with people that hate pepperoni pizza. Hey, so everybody in here, and I don't want to offend anybody, because I really do like pizza. And again, I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings, but I think pepperoni is the best. Why is it that it took me like another 30 seconds to get my point across just because I wasn't trying to offend everybody in the room? Why couldn't I just speak my mind? No boundaries were being crossed. Nobody was hurt. But it feels like nowadays everybody just wants to cushion each other's feelings and nobody wants to keep it real. Nobody wants to discuss anything because everybody's scared of canceling each other, hurting each other's feelings, or just being snowflakes in general. And as random as that situation may seem, a room full of pepperoni pizza hating people, and I'm the only pepperoni pizza person, God, that's a fucking tongue twister. Try to relate that to a situation in your life where you were the minority, where you were the one trying to get your point across, but you were so scared of people judging you because everybody's just such a snowflake nowadays and can never take an opinion without causing a problem. If you really think about it, it happens hundreds of times in our day-to-day lives, and it's honestly just so frustrating because I feel like nobody can really get a point across without worrying if they're gonna end up on Fox News as the latest trend in the US. And social media doesn't help at all, especially Twitter. There's literally YouTubers that thrive off of this kind of stuff. This whole snowflake cancel culture, getting offended by everything you say, it trickles down into our social media, it trickles down into our influencers, into our future, as in us as a generation. Because of course every generation is different, every generation treats emotions and everything differently, but we are quite literally creating a generation that can't even listen to each other's opinions without freaking out, having a panic attack because we can't handle confrontation and talking to each other. So instead we take it to Twitter where we can write 3 long tweets replying tons of threads to our 6 followers who listen to literally everything we have to say, which they don't. Man, I'm just so tired of all this soft society BS. I wish I could just say what I want and do what I want, obviously again respectfully, without having to worry about somebody freaking out about what I have to say. But I guess that's just the world we live in. You kind of just have to deal with it. And I guess just be careful of what you have to say, even though you really shouldn't have to be all the time, especially with people that you think you're comfortable with. But that's it for today's Sunday video. Really short, really aggressive, quick take. I just really wanted to put it out there. Don't be a snowflake, man. If somebody says something you don't agree with, literally just have a conversation on why you don't agree with it and bring up your point. There's no need for all this getting offended and all this starting drama bullshit, because at the end of the day, we're all people. We all see life differently. We all perceive it differently. We all have different opinions on different takes on different things, and if you can learn to start accepting different perspectives, you can grow so much as a person. But I guess snowflakes aren't ready for that because they want to stay stuck in their own ways and they don't want to see anybody else's perspective because they're right and everybody else is wrong. You guys have a great rest of your Sunday afternoon. I'm gonna catch you guys in my next video. Again, I want to start that Smash series pretty soon. I'm gonna start it as soon as I'm done with some work stuff. I have a lot of work ahead of me in my actual job in real life. But I appreciate you guys. You guys know that. I love you guys, and I'll catch you guys most likely next Sunday. Peace out. All love. Stay safe.